Yesterday, myself and many others lampooned Pete Hegseth for his over-the-top press conference performance, where he attacked CNN, among others, because they dared question Trump's White House propaganda on the Iran bombings. Well, CNN has clapped back with receipts that showed Hegseth was performing, likely at the order of Trump, and the bombshell he tried to drop on them was full of hot air. Please stand by, because I have all the satisfying details next. If you had any doubt that Hegseth was nothing more than a court jester dancing for his king, it will go away when you see his post about the moment that read, "Thank you, Mr. President," while sharing Trump's post that read, "One of the greatest, most professional, and most confirming news conferences I have ever seen." The fake news should fire everyone involved in this witch hunt and apologize to our great warriors and everyone else. Neither of these guys have an ounce of self-awareness, and that brings us to Anderson Cooper dropping the real bombshell that came to my attention via a post by Yellow Sharpie that said, "It took Anderson Cooper minutes to show everyone how stupid Pete Hegseth is. This is how easy it is to manipulate a MAGA." In the CNN caption, you can see below is perfect on-target sarcasm. He said, we said. Let's begin with Cooper explaining why the piece was necessary.
Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth was angry at reporters and basically for their reporting on that early Defense Intelligence Agency assessment. A number of the claims he made about the reporting were not accurate, and we put together both what the Secretary of Defense had to say earlier this morning, and also what we actually reported about that early Defense Intelligence Agency assessment.
And now for the satisfying he said, we said.
I want to read some of the assessments that have been provided, because whether it's fake news, CNN, MSNBC, or the New York Times, there's been fawning coverage of a preliminary assessment when it admits itself in writing that it requires weeks to accumulate the necessary data to make such an assessment.
This initial intelligence assessment from the DIA, which was leaked, was, as we reported, very preliminary. No doubt more assessments using other methods, other sources, and deeper analysis are being done. To be clear, that DIA assessment is only the earliest and first word that we know of on the matter.
I think it's too much to ask, unfortunately, for the fake news. So we're used to that. But we also have an opportunity to stand at the podium and read the truth of what's really happening. The DIA that put that report out says this is a preliminary low-confidence report and will continue to be refined as additional intelligence becomes available.
And these are preliminary reports, as CNN indicated in its reporting when this broke yesterday, and there will be other reports coming. This is a early assessment. There will be other assessments, and bomb damage assessments takes time.
How about the Israeli Atomic Energy Commission? The devastating U.S. strikes on Fordow destroyed the site's critical infrastructure and rendered the enrichment facility inoperable. Have any of these quotes made their way into the New York Times or the Washington Post? MSNBC? CNN?
Israel released a statement from its Atomic Energy Commission saying that the strikes destroyed, in their words, the critical infrastructure and rendered the enrichment facility inoperable.
How about the IDF's chief of staff? I can say here that the assessment is that we significantly damaged the nuclear program, setting it back by years. I repeat, years.
Today, the IDF chief of staff said that their program had suffered severe damage that would set them back years.
John Radcliffe, the director of the CIA, putting out a statement just last night.
Late today, CIA Director John Ratcliffe had this to say, and I'm quoting from his statement, CIA can confirm that a body of credible intelligence indicates
Iran's nuclear program has been severely damaged by recent targeted strikes. This includes new intelligence from a historically reliable
and accurate source/method that several key Iranian nuclear facilities were destroyed
and would have to be rebuilt over the course of years. CIA continues to collect additional reliably sourced information to keep appropriate decision makers fully informed. Institute for Science and International Security President David Albright, overall, Israel and U.S. attacks have effectively destroyed Iran's centrifuge enrichment program.
Joining me now is David Albright, former UN weapons inspector.
There were 3 sites that make the centrifuges, and those had actually been declared to the International Atomic Energy Agency, and so there's a confidence there weren't others, and so all 3 were destroyed.
How many stories have been written about how hard it is to, I don't know, fly a plane for 36 hours? Has MSNBC done that story? Has Fox? Giving the American people an understanding of how complex and sophisticated this mission really was.
Pilots did a remarkable job flying all the way around the world and back without stopping safely.
So let's take half-truths, spun information, leaked information, and then spin it. Spin it in every way we can to try to cause doubt and manipulate the public mind over whether or not our brave pilots were successful.
It was a successful mission. Ordnance was dropped exactly where it was supposed to be dropped.
You're undermining the success of incredible B-2 pilots and incredible F-35 pilots and incredible refuelers and incredible air defenders who accomplished their mission.
It was no doubt a remarkable military achievement, flying halfway around the world, hitting targets with apparent precision, then returning home safely. No one would say or has said otherwise.
There are so many aspects of what our brave men and women did that because of the hatred of this press corps are undermined because people are trying to leak and spin that it wasn't successful. It's irresponsible.
It's nothing to do with the remarkable ability of these pilots who flew all the way from the United States and back, executed, dropped payloads exactly on target. Massive damage was done. You can term it whatever you want. The job was done, and it was done. It was executed, it seems, to perfection. The question is, what were the results of it? What Pete Hegseth said, we said, and what we actually said.
Hegseth dancing for his king via the press conference was a poorly constructed bombshell that blew up in his face, and Anderson Cooper mopped up the debris that he and Trump left behind. And Pete has been exposed yet again for what he really is, a Trump mouthpiece who has to perform on command and parrot Trump's self-aggrandizing words. And Cooper has once again revealed how Trump's White House is essentially a stage play with his hand-picked actors reading lines directly from his Truth Social feed. When you see Hegseth publicly thanking Trump while reposting the man's odd words, calling it the most confirming news conference, you realize these men are living in a feedback loop of delusion that is void of self-awareness. Trump's parrot culture runs deep this time around, unlike his first term when those who refused to echo him were swiftly shown the door. This time, everyone in Trump world has been vetted to ensure his narratives are repeated, no matter how disconnected from reality. Trump's fire hose of falsehoods designed to overwhelm critical reporting will remain on blast, so let's hope CNN, MSNBC, and others continue to do their part in representing reality.